looking at note number 1. Let me brief to you about the Matlab environment. So, I've posted the disk. I think some of you already received the disk. Okay, maybe some haven't received yet. And if you have problems with the disk, please let me know. And I think some of you, I think Lokman cannot install the console. If any of you already able to install console, maybe you can help Lokman. Okay.
Tolong post CD ya. Yang boleh download.
Siapa yang dah install, nanti bagi tahulah macam mana. Saya rasa
Nanti dia Ahmad.
kesian Lokman. Okay, so let's look at okay, so before that we look at the group project first. Banyak sangat benda, tak boleh nak fikir lah. Group project mana. Tak ada pun. Ni. Okay, so I don't know how many students in this class. I think it's 34. So sebab 34 orang, ramai sangat, banyak sangat group sampai 11. So kita tukar. So daripada 3 orang kita buat 4 orang. Okay. So okay, sila tukar group tiba. Sekejap saya post. Carilah sendiri dalam WhatsApp group link hari tu. Okay. So one group 4 people. Okay. So boleh edit balik. Okay, so let's look at Matlab environment. So this is your Matlab environment when you open Matlab. Maybe if you just install Matlab, maybe you don't have this editor untitled window here. Maybe you don't have this. You only have current folder, command window, and workspace. Okay, so usually you write something in the command window. For example, if you want to calculate 1 plus 1, when you press enter, you will get the answer equals 2. And then in the workspace, you will see a variable name answer came out. Okay, so you can press the variable, double click. So the variable answer basically is a matrix or array, 2 by 2 array, but in this case it's a 1 by 1 array because it only fills in one particular spot in this table. So same with C programming. If you put a semicolon at the end, then you can put semicolon at the end, but if you put semicolon, then it will not give you the answer in the command window. So let's say you write 2 plus 2 semicolon. So the answer is given in the workspace, but not in the command window. So sometimes we put semicolon because we don't want the command window to fill with writings, okay, or with numbers. Okay, so usually for a programmer, they want this command window to be clean, okay, to have nothing in there. So because of that, we use the function clear and CLC. So basically, when you write clear, it will clean the workspace, and when you write CLC, it will clean the command window. Okay. And let's say you have a code or Matlab code that is saved somewhere in your computer, then you can browse the code from this button. So I save my code in pen drive. Okay, here. So when I open that folder, then I can access my Matlab code. Okay, this is example. Okay, so let's look at the nodes. Okay, so okay, so a quick tutorial on Matlab. So basically, Matlab is a software specialized for doing numerical computation. Numerical computation means calculate things, okay? Calculate based on numbers. It was originally designed for solving linear algebra using matrices. So that's why the name is Matlab, Matrix Lab, okay? So Matlab is specialized for solving matrix. So Matlab has been expanded since then, okay? So it can solve 2D and 3D, even graphics and animation. So if you maybe have familiar with Matlab, then in Matlab also you can do some programming to write games like Sudoku. I think Snake pun boleh. Snake yang dekat phone Nokia pun boleh dalam Matlab. Okay, so we start with writing variable in Matlab. So in C programming, you also have learned about writing variables in C programming. So same for Matlab, you also have variables. So variable in Matlab are case sensitive, meaning that if you write, for example, Matlab equals 1, then you want to call the variable Matlab, you must write the name according to the case given earlier. So this is big M, so you must write big M. So if you write small m, then some error will appear. So you must write according to the case you already defined earlier. So you must start your variable with letters. So cannot start with underscore or symbol or numbers. So you cannot start your variable to ABC for example. Cannot, okay? So you must start ABC 2. This one can, okay? So you cannot start with numbers. And you also can write underscore in between. So you cannot start with underscore, okay? So you must start with letters. And there are some variables that already been defined in Matlab. So you cannot use these names because it's specific for certain constant, okay? Constant that is used in mathematics, like pi. So you cannot name pi equals 8, for example. Boleh. So pi. Okay, maaf. So pi basically 3.1416. So if you change the value pi equals 8, then when you want to write a code later, so you cannot use pi anymore. So you need to redefine pi using different variable names. So in Matlab also supports 6 relational operators. Okay, so we have plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Okay, so in Matlab also we have less than, less than or equal, bigger than or equal, equals to, or not equals to. Okay. So in C you use not equals to, you use the apostrophe. Okay, so in Matlab you use this symbol. Apa nama tak tahu. And also in Matlab you have logical operators. So basically this relational operators and logical operators are used in maybe for loop, if else loop. But I think you will not use much of that in tests, okay? But maybe in assignment. So you have not, and or, okay? Okay, so we go into learning about matrices in Matlab. So basically Matlab treated all variables as matrices. So I mentioned just now that let's say you write A equals 1, B equals 3, then you want to find A plus B. So all of these are in matrix form, okay? So it's a one by one matrix at the moment. Later we will convert them and see how you can write a 2 by 2 matrix or a bigger matrix. Okay, so in this matrix we have row. So this number here is the row. So this one here, the vertical boxes here is the column. Okay, so this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, so this variable here, a 1 by 1 matrix, has a value at row 1, column 1. So let's say if you put some number here, maybe 5 for example, then this variable becomes a 1 by 2 matrix. So it has 1 row and 2 column. So the best thing about Matlab, it can also function like Excel. So you can fill the boxes here with numbers that you want. So sama je macam Excel. Okay. So when you add number, then the matrix becomes bigger. Okay. So now it becomes 4 by 4 matrix. So this is the things that I've mentioned just now. So you can create a scalar by giving a variable name. Let's say variable Jamil, for example. So the value for Jamil is maybe 20. So you can put semicolon or you can leave it just like that and press enter. So the variable Jamil now will be in workspace and it becomes a 1 by 1 matrix which has value 20. Okay, so you can always change the variable value anytime. So let's say you want to change to other numbers. So you can change the value of Jamil here. And just now I show you how to create a matrix by inserting number in the table. So you can also create a matrix by inserting numbers and also this box bracket here. So let's say Jamil equals 20, 53, for example. So it becomes a 1 by 2 matrix. Okay. So if you put a comma here, then it creates a new column. Okay. But if you put semicolon instead of comma, then it creates new row. Okay, so comma function as creating new column, semicolon function as to create new row. Okay, so you can combine comma and semicolon together. So you can write like this. So it becomes 2 column and 2 rows. With the first column is 20 and the next column is 53 for row number 1, and for the second row it's also 20 and 53. Okay, so you can create a bigger matrix. So the example given here, you can create a bigger matrix by putting a comma and semicolon. So it's easier. Sometimes maybe later, maybe in your FYP ke, you are required to use Matlab. So janganlah type satu-satu kat sini, satu-satu nombor sampai pengsan. So try to use coding here. It's faster, okay? Faster than type satu-satu. And you must make sure that your matrix is rectangular. So tak boleh tak ada number, tak letak number. So bila let's say you tak letak number dekat column or row, any rows here, then it will automatically assign with number 0. Okay. Okay, now you have this matrix 5 by 3 matrix. So sometimes you want to write code later in Matlab. You want to call the variable, let's say this value, or maybe this value here. So how to call this value? So you can simply write Jamil bracket and just give the location of this value. So the location here is at row 5, column 2. So you just write row 5, column 2. Okay, so you start with row first, comma, and then followed by the column. So when you enter, you get the number you want, number 5. So let's say you want this value 3 here. So Jamil, row number 1, column number 3. So to call it, just put the variable name and put bracket and give the location, okay? Location of the number that you want. So in C programming, back in your first year, 4 years ago, your variable starts with 0. So that's why your array starts with 0 in C programming. But in Matlab, your array starts with number 1. Okay, so that's the difference between C programming and Matlab. But the concept is the same. Okay, so let's try this example here. Okay, so given this matrix X, and then you want to determine, or you want to extract only this number 2, 3, 5, and 6. You want to extract this portion of matrix. So you want to have to get the 2 by 2 matrix from this bigger matrix here. So how to obtain this matrix only, or to extract this matrix from this variable X? So you can call it by putting assign some variable, let's say new X, equals x bracket, and you need to determine the location of this matrix, okay, that you want. So the location starts from row number 1 until row number 2. Okay, so from row number 1 until row number 2. So the way you write in MATLAB is by writing 1 until. So double dot here means until, okay, sehingga. So from row number 1 until row number 2, okay, comma, and then this portion here starts from column number 2 until column number 3. So starts from column number 2 until column number 3. So you get the portion here. So let's say you want to have only this matrix, okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. So how to call it? So first define new variable, new xx, for example. So x. So it starts from row 1 until row 3. So 1 until 3. And then from column 1 until column 2. Okay, so column 1 until column 2. So you get that portion only. Okay. So the symbol double dot here means until. Okay, so the example given here you can extract a lot more, but you can try later. Okay, so the basic idea is to extract the matrix portion of matrix. You just write the location in the bracket here. Okay. Okay, so from this matrix, you can also expand the matrix, meaning that you can make it bigger, or you can put new numbers in the matrix. So at the moment, from this table, your matrix is so your matrix is 3 by 3. So let's say you want to define a number maybe here, a number here, maybe number 6 ke apa number here. Okay, so you can simply write x at row 5, column 5. You want to have a number, let's say 5. Okay, so we will define a new number here, and your matrix will become bigger. Okay, so in this note, it gives some other functions like wrap mat. What is this? I'm not sure, but this is just a function, but that you can learn from Google. Okay, so for Matlab, you can Google the function whenever you want to use it, or you never use it before, so you can just Google the function name. Okay, because that's the easiest way to learn Matlab. Okay, because I don't know every single functions in Matlab, because there are so many functions in Matlab, so I only know certain functions only. So the things that I taught you today are those that basic. Okay, basic before you can use functions. Okay, so you can do operation on the Matlab okay, on the matrix you define. Okay, so here, let's say you define a matrix X, and then you define a matrix Y. So Y, you want each of the element in X added by 5. Okay, so you simply write Y equals X plus 5. So what you will get is that each of the element increased by 5. So you can add two matrices together, but the matrix must be of the same size. Okay, so let's say you add X plus Y. So let's say A equals X plus Y. So if the matrix is the same size, are the same sizes, then it can be added together. So let's say if you define a new variable Z equals 1, 2, for example, then you want to find B equals X plus Z. So you cannot do it because Z is 1 by 2 matrix, but X is a 2 by 2 matrix. So it's the same as in mathematics, okay? So you cannot add matrix of not if the size are not the same. So the addition here is the same with subtraction. Okay. So in Matlab, you also have multiplication or division. So to multiply matrix, you use a symbol star here. So same with mathematics. When you want to multiply matrix, you must make sure the size of the matrix. Okay. So let's say this matrix A here. So the matrix A here is 2 by 2. Then matrix B is 1 by 1, 1 by 2. So you cannot multiply A multiply B because you know that from high school that if this is 2 by 2, then this is 1 by 2. So these two must be the same before you can do matrix multiplication. So here you can only do B times A only because B is 1 by 2 and A is 2 by 2. So these two are the same, so you can multiply. So that's the regular matrix operation, just the same with mathematics, okay? So that's why here, if you multiply B with A, you get the answer. But A times B, you cannot get the answer because the dimension here is not agree. Okay, so when you get error here, the error here, so you need to see the error, what kind of error it says. Okay, so here the error already indicates that the matrix dimension must agree, meaning that your multiplication are not valid because the dimension are not the same. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so A equals 1, 2, 3, 4. And B equals 1, 1. Okay, so let's say you have another variable. Let's say C equals 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's say you want A times B, but you want the multiplication to be element wise. Element wise means you want 1 here, the value 1 here, multiply with 3. And then value 2 here, multiply with 4. 3 multiply with 5. 4 multiply with 6. meaning that each element multiply with the other matrix element of the same location. So what you can do is by writing A dot star C. Okay, so the dot here meaning the operation is element wise. Okay, element by element multiplication. Tak jadi. Okay.
Sudah ke?
Udah aja benda salah. Okay, jadi jangan gelabah. Okay, so when you put dot here after star, then it becomes element wise. So element wise operation only exists in multiplication and division only, because addition and subtraction is by default element wise lah. Okay, meaning that A minus C are element wise. Okay, meaning that 1 tolak 3, 2 tolak 4, 3 tolak 5, 4 tolak 6. Okay, so that's element wise. By default, minus and plus are element wise. So by default for multiplication and division are the regular mathematics matrix multiplication. Okay, so to make the multiplication element wise, you need the dot here. So kita try A dot divide C. Okay, dapat. Okay. Nak buktikan, gunalah calculator. Okay, so here you can also do element wise for power operation. Okay, so symbol here, this symbol, apa benda symbol ni tak tahu. So symbol ni bermaksud power. Okay. So let's say you define D equals 3, for example. So you want 3 to the power of 25, for example. So dia kira lah 3 kuasa 25. So simbol apa ni? Cap. Okay, cap ni bermaksud power off. Okay. So matrix also can be powered off. Okay. So if you put dot here, then it becomes element wise power operation. Okay, so setiap element akan power off something. So ni bermaksud 1.0 e to the power of 15 times the matrix. Okay, dia factorizekan 1 e kuasa 15. 1 e kuasa 15 bermaksud 1 darab 10 kuasa 15. Okay. So dalam Matlab dia guna simbol E15. So E15 meaning times 10 to the power of 15. Okay, I think it's the same with C programming. Okay, simbol E juga. So there are a lot more matrix manipulation functions like zeros, ones, random, apa-apa semua ni kena buka Google lah. Senang je aja. Okay, so in Matlab also has inbuilt maths functions like sine, cos, exponential, log, and so on. So ceiling, floor, round, real, imaginary. Ni semua ni jarang-jarang guna. So it's very seldomly used. Okay. So let's say later in FYP ke or in test ke, tiba-tiba kena guna Google lah. Okay. Google je, senang. Semua ada kat Google. So let's say you want to find sine 60. Boleh ke? Salah. Sine 60. Tapi dia bagi jawapan dalam radian lah. Okay, macam nak tukar degree tak tahu. Darab I over 180. Okay. So sin here bermaksud sine function. So you have cosine. Okay, satu lagi untuk trik dalam Matlab is that selain clear dan CLC, you can also press the up button up dekat keyboard awak. When you press the button up, you can tengok balik history lama yang awak dah guna dalam Matlab. Okay. Macam ni banyaklah history yang tadi kita dah buat masa sepanjang setengah jam tadi. Okay. So kalau macam nak tulis balik something yang dah lepas, macam malas kan, macam alamak malas lah nak type balik. So boleh cari balik dekat history by pressing the up button, and then from there you can just go up and down and look for the code that you already written. Okay. So macam tadi saya dah tulis sin 60 times pi over 180 degree. So panjang kan, macam malas nak tulis balik. So just scroll balik history and then press enter. Okay, press enter maksudnya kita cari balik history tadi. So macam nak tukar ni jadi cos, so just cari history and tukar je cos. Okay. Tu trik nak cepat lah. Okay, sum product. So ada banyak function, ada function sum. So let's say your variable, you define a matrix A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for example. And then you nak cari the sum of all of these numbers. So just tulis sum A. Dapat 45. And then let's say you nak cari, you want to find the mean of the numbers in the matrix A. So you just write mean A. Betul, okay. Standard deviation. And so on, okay. So let's say you want to find the sign for each number in this matrix. So you just write sign A. So it will give the value of sign for each of the variables in the matrix A. So here it represents the numbers after sign for these values. So untuk to make sure that you get a proper result, so please lah tulis something, let's say W equals sin A. So you assign the values in the variable W. So instead of assigning the variables the value in variable answer, which is by default dia akan bagi variable answer, you define lah a variable, okay. Sebab answer ni by default, okay. So let's say later you forgot to give a name of variable, then dia akan replace balik this variable here. Bila dah replace, dia akan ganggu coding awak lah. Oh, dah graphics dah, cepatnya. Okay, so this section here is about plotting in Matlab. Okay, so tak boleh copy, damn it. Okay, so let's say you define x equals linspace. So jangan tanya saya apa linspace, pergi Google. Linspace ni basically dia macam divide the values from 0 until 2 pi by 1000 linearly, dia divide linearly, okay. Tapi macam mana dia berfungsi, saya tak tahu, kena Google. Okay, so hold on here bermaksud dia akan keluarkan benda ni, window plotting ni, dan dia akan hold dia, hold tu maksudnya dia akan keluarkan dan dia akan kita boleh buat apa-apa je lah dekat sini, dia takkan hilang. So let's say you want to plot X against Y. So for plotting, you just write plot X against Y. So X ni paksi X, Y paksi Y. Okay. For more info on plotting, Google. Okay. So you can also change the color of your graph. Okay. So here by default dia akan guna color biru. So you can change the color to whatever that you want. Okay. So the colors, the color code, kena Google. Okay. So let's say I want to use red, I put R. Okay. So dia akan tukar jadi merah. Nak guna hijau. Nak guna hitam, hitam bukan B, hitam apa? Hitam Y ke? Bukan. Tak ingat tu lah, kena Google. Biru, okay. So color code ni boleh tukar ikut dia ada senarai dia, okay. Ada senarai dekat online, okay. Apa lagi? Okay, so lepas tu you want to label the graph. So to label, you simply write X label, X axis for example. Okay, so dia akan keluar X axis kat sini. You dah labelkan axis tu, nama dia X axis. So Y label, Y axis. Okay. And then nak letak title pun boleh, title. Merepek. Okay, so title merepek keluar. And then also kalau kita nak plot tambahan satu lagi graph. So you simply write plot X melawan Z. Color hijau for example. Dia akan keluar graph lain sebab whole ni dia basically apa-apa yang awak plot dia akan keluar dekat satu figure je. So you can also write plotting dua plotting dalam satu plot function, okay. X let's say Z melawan Y. So if you write like this, then dia akan plot dua graph, okay. Okay, dia akan plot dua lagi graph. Oh my god, apa ni? Okay, kita tutup balik. Ni dah kelang kabut. Kita hold on balik. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so bila dah plot ni, kita tak tahu mana satu graph Z melawan X, mana satu graph Z melawan Y. So kita boleh put legend, okay. So legend. So the first graph which is Z melawan X, kita tulis Z melawan X. Second graph which is Z melawan Y, so we put ZY. So dia keluar legend kat sini. Yang color hijau ni ialah Z melawan X. Yang color merah ialah Z melawan Y. Kalau tulis whole of means bila plot lepas ni dia akan hilang plot tadi, dia akan replace dengan plot yang baru, okay. So hold on tadi tujuan dia ialah bila you write any plots, it will just continually plot in the same figure, okay. But if you off the whole, you hold off, so whenever you plot new things, it will replace the plots, okay, with new graph, okay, new plot that you write in the code. Okay, so sebelum tu kan code kat sini macam banyak sangat. Lepas tu macam leceh nak kena cari history lah. Setiap kali nak cari history. Penat macam ni. Penat tangan nak scroll. So cara agak bodoh lah, taklah bodoh sangat, bijak sebenarnya. So you click this new script here, either new or new script. Okay, when you press new script, okay, when you press new script, dia akan keluar satu window here, editor window. So kegunaan editor window ni, you can put your codes, any codes in this window. Then you can just simply run the code. Okay. So for example, ni dah banyak sangat. So let's say from here, nak sampai sini, just copy CTRL-C and paste here. Okay. Okay, so when you copy and paste here, and then you save dulu, save. Maybe dekat satu folder, trial class Matlab, apa-apalah. Okay, save here. Maybe cuba satu. Okay, any names and save. And then when you press run, so first kena change the folder dulu lah. Okay, click change folder. So dia akan plot graph based on this. Okay. So let's say kat sini you dah clear CLC. So code ni dia permanent kat sini lah. Okay. So let's say tukar ni jadi Z. So when you press run, so dia akan keluar graph yang sama tadi without having to write the codes, a lot of codes in the command window. So bila you ada banyak code, you tak payahlah tulis code tu dalam command window, you simply write the codes in the editor window. So press new and write the codes in this editor window. So macam matrix tadi, A equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for example. And then nak cari standard deviation, sum A, and then mean A equals mean A. So bila buat macam ni, dia tak payahlah tulis satu-satu, tulis satu-satu, enter satu, enter. Penat lah, okay? Penat menekan enter. So cuba dua. So bila buat macam ni, and then when you run, so your results will be in workspace, okay? So tak payahlah tulis, enter, tulis, enter. Dah belajar sampai sini. Cepat je lah. Okay, so hold off. Okay. So plotting, importing data tak penting. Flow in Matlab. Tapi kita tengok nota yang kedua pula. Okay, so since I already show you about doing coding in editor, so let's look at how to write functions in Matlab. Okay, so dalam in C programming, you learn about functions. Ingat lagi tak? Mesti tak ingat. Mestilah tak ingat kan? So functions, macam mana nak kira radius bulatan lah, tapi buat function macam tak apa-apa tak example dia. Tapi sebenarnya kegunaan dia banyak, okay? Kegunaan dia nak mudahkan tulis kod tu sekali je, tak payah tulis banyak-banyak kali. So Matlab permits us to create our own functions. These are scripts that take in certain inputs and return a value or set of values. So we will need this as we use built-in functions for problem solving. So dekat Matlab, bila orang guna Matlab, kita akan guna banyak functions ataupun banyak calculation yang akan digunakan berkali-kali. So when you want to use functions or calculation that involves that requires usage of many times, then it's better if you can write them in functions. Okay. So the concept of function, basically you have function, bracket, square bracket, the output arguments equal function name, curly the regular bracket, input arguments. So function output equals function name, input. Okay, so this is basic function. Okay, kena tutup dengan n. So output ni dengan input ni sama macam variable yang tadi, tak boleh start dengan numbers. So cannot start with numbers or symbol. You must start with letters. And function name I think also the same. Okay, so you must start with letters. Okay, so let's say function cuba 3 for example. And this function here is fixed. Okay, tak boleh ubah. So you can change this output, the function name, and also input. Okay, so let's say you want to plot this sine 3 times x plus sine 3.1 times x. So setiap kali nak tulis kat sini, bengkak tangan. Okay. Ni pun dah bengkak lah, tak larat. So better lah tulis kat sini. So let's say kita nak output dia y sama dengan sin 3 times x plus sin 3.1 times x. So what you have to do is you change the input to x because you are going to use x here and here, and the output you change to y, okay, because you want this value y here. And then after that you click save. So tak payah bracket pun tak apa. Okay, so tak payah bracket pun tak apa. Kalau satu variable saja, satu output saja, tak payah bracket. Okay, so y, and I click save. So dia akan automatically save here cuba 3 according to the name you wrote here. Okay, so kalau kat sini nama dia Jamil ke, so dia akan save Jamil kat sini. So when you write functions later, please make sure your function dengan nama yang save kat sini are the same. Okay, make sure they are the same. So kalau tak sama nanti Matlab dia tak kenal function tu. Okay. Okay, so you want to plot something. So let's say you have x equals 0 until 50. So dekat sini ada 2 until. So kalau ada 2 until, bermaksud so the first the value in between the two double dot here, meaning that 0 until 50, tetapi dia punya stepping dia 0.1, meaning that from 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 until 50. So dia tambah 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, so you define x and then you nak kira y. So nak kira y, kalau tulis ni balik jadi penat lah. Okay, so you just call y equals cuba 3 x. Okay, so you just write like this and press enter. So you get the value y for each of the x value. Okay, nampak beribu-ribu lemon. Kalau tulis satu-satu, tak tahulah. Penat kot. Tukar tempat lagi. Yeah. Okay. And then you want to plot. So plot X melawan Y. Apa ni? Okay, apa-apa je lah. Okay, so kita try practice. Okay. So create an M file that calculates the function gx_del equals cosine x plus cosine 1 plus del x for a given value of del. Use it to plot gx_del from x0 to 100 for del 0.1 and 0.2. So kita buatlah function g equals cuba 4 x del, okay, and so dalam function ni kita tulis balik equation ni, g equals cosine x plus cosine 1 plus del times x, semicolon. Save dulu. And then clear dulu. Let's say del equals 0.1, 0.2, and then x equals 0, 0 to 100. So let's say increment dia by 0.1. And then kita kira g equals cuba 4 xd. Tidak. Tenet. Tenet. Okay. Okay. Okay, dia tak boleh letak D 2 sekali. G equals cuba 4. So D tadi tak boleh ada 2, okay? Sebelum ni saya define D ada 2. So dia tak recognize. So kita define satu-satu. Okay, and then plot. Plot X melawan G melawan X, okay? And hold on. Dan kita kira untuk D yang baru pula. So let's say kita buat E equals 0.2. And then G2. So simply change from D to E, okay? So kita nak guna value 0.2 here instead of 0.1. So substitute je. So X yang sama. And then plot G2. Alah, color lain. Kita tukar color. So kita dapat dua graf. So bila tukar value D, graf dia jadi berbeza. So nak lagi cantik, letak legend G2. So you have legend. Kenapa biru? Okay, kita clear balik. Oh. Okay, dapat dah. Oh, dah 9:30. Okay, so kita go through sikit on flow control. Oh my god, susahnya.
Susah ke?
Dia? Sorry.
Susah ke?
Bukan susah, banyak. Biasa malas.
Ayo.
Tak apalah, ni kita belajar next week pun boleh. Tak apalah, kita berhenti setakat ni je lah. Dah nak muntah, dah bosan. Okay, so that's for basic on Matlab. Maybe next week we will go into learning about flow control. Just some basics, okay? Sebab dalam assignment tak ada pun. Dalam assignment ada, maybe dalam test tak ada. Cuma assignment nanti tiba ada, so macam pelik-pelik lah. Ke nak buat dalam test Boleh je buat dalam test.
Tak biasa, test senang-senang je.
Test senang. Senang pun tak boleh juga, sama je. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, ada soalan? Ada apa-apa nak borak ke?
Video yang saya record ni saya upload kat YouTube ke?
Macam je, tengoklah kalau rajin. Ke tak nak upload lah.
Se-upload rasa bukan kami.
Kalau tak upload, tak ada orang subscribe je.
Kan dah 100 orang dah. Woo, tiba.
Road to 1K, sir.
Okay, RM1 je. Itu kita cas duit. Siapa tengok kena bayar.
Gaming kali ni macam lagi padu se.
Kan, ni tekan je. Padu bye.
Buat tutorial buat game.
Itulah saya tak main game ni. Itulah masalah dia. Game Matlab boleh lah. Okay, so that's it for today. Also macam project tadi kita tukar jadi 4 orang satu group, okay? So nanti pandai-pandai korang lah susun balik group, okay? Okay, 4 orang je. Jadi ada dalam 8 ataupun 9 group. Untuk group project maybe next week lah saya bagi briefing. So nanti yang CD tu try install console. Kalau tak boleh kita fikirkan cara lain pula. Okay. So that's it for today. InsyaAllah we will see you. I will see you next week. Okay. So bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam sir. Terima kasih.
Bye-bye, sir.
Terima kasih sir.
Bye bye.
Okay, sir.
So nak save coding dekat script. Oh sorry saya tak baca komen. So nak save coding dekat script. Okay. Tutup recording.